Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is very much in keeping with guitar-based things. It's Joe Satriani's third album, Flying a Blue Dream. So this was his follow-up to Surfing with the Alien, and it was released, let's just check, October the 30th, 1989. So in actual fact, I think Whitesnake's Slip of the Tongue album came out the week after this. So again, it was one of those periods where you got Vi and Satch vying for your guitar attention. So a lot of expectation with this album. Surfing with the Alien had become a breakout hit. Eventually went platinum in the States. You got to remember, this is really unusual for albums of this type. The only guitar instrumental albums I can think of gone platinum in the States. Are Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow, Surfing with the Alien, Joe Satriani, and RV and Musicom by Eric Johnson. This album went gold, as did Extremist. Time Machine was gold. Vi went gold with Passion and Warfare. But this isn't the kind of music that sells in big quantities. So the fact that it's able to kind of stretch out there and reach is a testament to the profile the guitarist has, but the quality of the songs. And Satch knew how to write songs and does know how to write songs that connect with people who won't necessarily play guitar. This is the first album as well. It sets a precedent for every album cover since, where it features Joe Satriani in some form or another. Remember, Not of This Earth, the original cover had that cool sort of planet cover. I actually had that on vinyl and I sold it, which is probably worth a lot now. The reissue was a boring cover, and then Surfing with the Alien had the cool embossed Silver Surfer thing. This is Satch on the front, as did The Extremist, as did every album since. So I actually saw him on this tour, and he opened with the title track. It was at Newcastle City Hall, and this is a beloved memory for me and a lot of people I know on our local music scene were there. And Satch just came out with the effects going from the backing tape and bathed in blue light, and he just went into that feedback, and it was one of those kind of cosmic guitar happenings, like. And Flying a Blue Dream may be his greatest song. And it's a weird thing because effectively it's just a Lydian jam. It's just a 12-bar Lydian jam with a solo. And that's the kind of genius of it. I mean, he's, if you think about it, he does use kind of Billy Gibbons-esque riffs and 12-bar type patterns like Surfing with the Alien, and even maybe that's just using the 1/4. Can't remember. But with this, it's in C Lydian, then it's F Lydian, then G Lydian. Mad. Like taking the most basic sort of rock and roll type progression but making it cosmic. Yeah, I love this track. It's great, and it makes sort of the main melody's really epic, and then it makes full use of his legato and his ability to kind of do sustained feedback and create soundscapes with that. Then you got Mystical Potato Head groove thing. This has got a really good groove. It says here Jeff Campitelli drums, percussion, pre-programming. So on this, it might have programmed drums. I'm not sure. Stuan plays bass. Track 6, Simon Phillips on the drums. This is great. This has got his lick. He did an instrumental called The Power Cosmic, which was a flexi disc for Guitar Player magazine. Flexi discs, remember those? Some of them are great. I love The Power Cosmic, and he uses this crazy arpeggio that I still enjoy playing today. A fellow guitarist once got annoyed with me for playing my little twist on that arpeggio when I was at college. He goes, "You always play that arpeggio." So I got sent to Arpeggio Room 101 and played it in there. This is a really good track. I really like it. 5 minutes 9. It's actually, its track's getting a bit longer here on this album. Then you got Can't Slow Down. This is something unusual for Satch. This is his first vocal track on the album. There's 6 vocal tracks, I think. I think this was a good move at the time, and people took a nod from this. Richie Kotzen did a vocal album the year later, Fever Dream, which is pretty good. Sort of realising if he wanted to stretch out a bit more, this would help. And Satch is a vocalist, he's no singer, and he fully accepted that. So he kind of works it the best way he can. It's kind of a flash driving song, this. Kind of a Motorheadish groove in a way. I quite like this track actually. It's pretty decent. So the next track, this is where the album starts to kind of get into trouble with me. At the time it didn't bother us, but there's a lot of short tracks, instrumentals. It's quite a myriad of things, and we'll come to like where things went after this, but it's headless, so it's basically a spin on the Headless Horseman, his instrumental off the Not of This Earth album. and it's got like kind of cool kind of harmonica. You just don't need it, to me. Next up, you got another vocal track, Strange, which is sort of funky, a bit Prince-ish. Again, I don't know if I'm that keen on this, but credit to Satch for sort of experimenting with his sound. Has a cool lead break, got a nice Stuan bass line, and then the lyrics kind of fit in with the Satriani vibe. Then you got I Believe. This is a kind of acoustic ballad. I think he sort of said he wanted to do something Suzanne Vega-ish, and you can hear that actually. You can hear it in the delivery of the lyrics and the atmosphere on his vocals and the softness. Again, I think the track's a bit long. It's 5 minutes 54. I don't know, I find the lyrics a bit cheesy on the chorus. I don't know, credit for him for doing it. It just doesn't totally connect with me. Next track's One Big Rush. This is a typical Satriani driving song. It comes at a good time in the album, because obviously Satch pops up again and reminds you what his usual day job is. I don't think it's his best instrumental track he's done, but it is catchy. Then probably the best vocal track on the album, the one that suits and fits the best, is Big Bad Moon. Obviously he's a big ZZ Top fan. This has got a slinky Billy Gibbons-y kind of riff and groove. I think this track did a lot for him. I think this kind of got MTV airplay. It was kind of on video channels over here. And it's this kind of song that you can dance to, and it's the kind of song that someone who's not into widdly guitar can get on board with, and it's got a really cool lead break. Then he gets back into two short instrumentals. There's The Feeling, which is a kind of banjo piece. The thing is, this album would have been okay with one or two of these pieces. There's too many. Then you've got The Phone Call. I've never really liked this track. It's a kind of comedy track. It's got a kind of rock and rolly type vibe. The vocals are done as if Satch is talking down the telephone to his girlfriend. But I never really got away with this. And then you got Day at the Beach, brackets New Rays from an Ancient Sun. This is another two-handed tapping piece. And for me, he kind of did the Headless Horseman and Brother John on the first album. Then he did Midnight, which, is, if you're going to do a kind of two-handed chordal tapping piece, it's a classic. You've kind of, you've done your masterwork if you're going to do that. So again, this is a track I don't think it needs. Then it's got, the next track is the other top track on the album, is Back to Shalabal. Controversial, I actually prefer this to Surfing with Aliens. So this is Shalabal, where the Silver Surfer comes from the Marvel Comics. So this is like a reference to that. It's got a hauling groove, but another way to describe this is the guitar's very sexy on this. You just kind of, really good. It fills me with this joy. It's a kind of going out track. You could crack open a bit, put this track on, and be ready for a night out. And then another vocal track I really enjoy is Ride. So again, getting into his ZZ Top groove. This is the vibe that suits. Really nice solo, quite a cool lyrics, just about getting on your motorbike and riding. A cliche, but I actually like what Satch does with it, the image he creates. Then we get into The Forgotten Part 1. Now I think this is another kind of tapping piece, chordal tapping piece again. I just don't think you need this. Then it goes into Forgotten Part 2. Forgotten Part 2 is excellent. It's actually a really emotive ballad with really nice pullbacks of a clean semi-distorted guitar, and then it kind of builds. It's kind of one of those tracks where it's kind of jammy. He's kind of jamming out and he's going through, ebbs and flows in the dynamics. I really like it. Then you got the Bells of Lal, and the intro Bells of Lal Part 1 is actually really cool. It's kind of backwards feedback, backwards legato. And actually really atmospheric, but the Bells of Lal feels like a kind of cast off from the Not of This Earth album. It's kind of a funky backing track, feels a bit programmed, and Satch just jams over the top to me. Again, the album doesn't need it, and in a way I like the Bells of Lal Part 1, but it kind of negates it in and out. The final track's Into the Light, which is a kind of little epic sort of keyboard instrumental, which you can sort of question whether the album needs it or not, but if the album was a certain length and form, then I would include this track because I quite like it. So after this, Satch reverted to type with the Extremist album. He did a 10-track instrumental album with one short instrumental, not two, it was just one. A lot of people prefer that. They see it as his last classic album. That's a lot of people's favourite albums, Extremist. I sort of think it's really good. The production's better. I still think the songs from Surfing are quality. What would I say about this one? You know, Flying the Blue Dream, Mystical Potato Head Grooving, Can't Slow Down are really good. I Battershallow Ball Ride are really good. Forgotten Part 2. Those 6. We'll say Into the Light 7. Those tracks are excellent. One Big Rush as well, 8. I think they're really good. And, you know, credit to his other vocal tracks, but for me, it's kind of a game of two halves. You know, you could get rid of the Bells of Lyle Part 1 and 2. I would get rid of those. You get rid of Day at the Beach. You could get rid of the Phone Call. You could keep The Feeling. I'm not massively keen on it, but it's quite interesting. And you can maybe lose one of the vocal tracks. I'm not sure. I've counted on my fingers here. That's for 14 tracks it's got now. In that instance, maybe you could lose the Forgotten Part 1, actually. You don't need that. And in that instance, well, maybe you could lose Into the Light, I don't know. And then you'd sort of have half and half. You'd have 6 instrumentals and 6 vocal tracks, something like that. And maybe that was the way to go with this. So for me, it's kind of coffin splitting a 6 out of 10. I think if it was stripped back a bit, it'd be more like a 7 or an 8. But I think, although at the time it was greatly received, and I do really like some of it, I feel the album that came before, the album came after, a lot better. Just my take. But didn't do Satriani any harm. You know, he was everywhere with this album. Deservedly so, because he was great, and you know, the shows were brilliant. Okay, I'll see you again. Remember to share and subscribe, and thanks for checking out this classic album inspection. Thank you.